Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi everyone, this is Natalie Jean. Yes, it's Chatting with Nat, and today we have the honor of having singer-songwriter, producer, Hannah Rutti. Hannah Rutti is a pop singer-songwriter based in Northern Virginia. She's around my neck of the neighborhood. Her sound is a beautiful, warm, and inviting soundscape with relatable lyrics. Her first single, Lazyboy, was released on August 20th, and it is a fun, mainstream pop anthem that you can listen to in the car, on a drive, or just relaxing at home. Hannah is an inviting and kind personality that captivates with her warm, confident sound. Let's give her a round of applause. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm alive in the pandemic. It's been kind of crazy. So how have you been during this whole pandemic thing?
We've been good. There's certainly been ups and downs, but we've been very fortunate so far.
That's really good. That's really good. Now, during the pandemic, did you do any live streaming at all?
I didn't live stream. I mainly devoted a lot of the pandemic to, of course, helping out my family and everything, but I really spent a lot of time producing and writing and really trying to get myself primed for when hopefully I could start, releasing music and start doing live stuff again. So that's mainly what I focused on.
That sounds good. You were busy. I think that it's good to take the time. We had that downtime kind of to be able to do a lot of things that we normally don't do. One of the questions that I like to ask everyone is this. During the pandemic, obviously it's a time for self-reflection. It's a time to decide what we really wanted to do with our lives, because the pandemic was, an eye-wide experience. It really made people think about life in general. I know that I have some friends and colleagues that decided to pull back on the hours that they work at home, at their job, because they noticed they weren't spending enough time with their children. They were missing out on a lot of things. If we believe in climate change, the animals and the trees, Mother Nature was just like, there's nobody in the street, I can breathe. There were people that actually quit their job. I read an article on people quitting their jobs because they realized they'd rather be happy than, try to make a lot of money in this life. So you as an artist, you take the time to self-reflect on how you want to be perceived. Did you rebrand? Did you stay with your brand? Did you really think about, how you want to push your music, how you want to be an effective player as a musician?
Absolutely. I absolutely did. And I'm glad you asked that question, because the pandemic was a big time for self-reflection for me. I had just graduated college. I was actually a COVID graduate. So I graduated on the comfort of my own couch, which I'm happy to have even graduated at all. So I don't mind. But it was really nice for me to be able to just kind of take the time back after college and staying in this scary time for everyone, unknown, and just be able to think, what do I actually want to do, and what do I want to devote my time and energy to? And for a long time, I guess I was really scared to really be able to put myself out there as an artist. As a young kid, I was performing a lot, and throughout my high school years, I was performing. And then when I went to college, it felt kind of daunting, because I went to a music college and everybody was so amazing there. So I started to think of myself, maybe I should lay low and, be one of the people in the back and behind the scenes. And then I realized that that's really not what I want to do. I have so much to say I really felt that the pandemic gave me a lot of time to be able to clear my head and say, I don't want to be in the back. I want to show people that what I can do, and I want them to be able to, listen to what I can say, because I have so much to say, and I really feel that it's not beneficial for me to just stay in the back and kind of, I don't know, not really allow people to relate the way I want them to relate. I really want them to be able to see me as me and just me through another artist lens, which that can be wonderful for someone else. But for me, I just really felt like it was my calling. I loved it so much. So I thought, why not just do it? So I released and recorded my first single and released it very recently. It's called Lazyboy, and I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. I love that answer. Now, what was it about the music industry that made you gravitate to it? Was it something that you watched? Was it something that you heard? What gave you that aha or that whoa music? Like you were like, oh my God, music is me. I've just got to do it.
Music has been, I guess it's really just been a part of me since I was quite little, a baby. My dad's a guitarist. He got his degree in music. He didn't pursue it professionally past that, but he's an amazing guitarist, and we spent a lot of time that I cherish and love, that we performed together and played together, as well as my grandmother when I was about 2 years old. We used to go on walks, and she would teach me folk songs, and it was really amazing for me to be able to realize my true love for music. I didn't just see it as a hobby. It was a way of life for me. I didn't wake up in the morning without thinking, what am I going to sing today? What am I going to feel today through music? That was my way of communication, and I love it so much.
Great. How would you describe your music?
It's mainstream pop with it's a unique angle on it. So it's mainstream pop with, there's different chordal elements, like you can sometimes hear, and because I've only released one song, it's kind of hard to hear all of the things that I'm saying through that one song. Through the other songs that I've written, there's some jazzy elements in it. I used to be a classical vocalist, so there's a lot of kind of a little bit of a throwback to that in my voice. And it does have definitely some indie, some dark pop in it as well. So I guess it's a little bit eclectic, but it does kind of fit in the mainstream pop for the most part.
Awesome. How important is it for you to be perceived as an authentic artist? And when I say authentic, that the stuff that you write or the way that you perform is perceived as the real you?
I think it's very important to me, because while there are so many other artists that are amazing and I look up to them, I don't want to be seen as just, copying them or just trying to be them. I don't want that. As much as I look up to them and am inspired by them, I want to take what I'm inspired by from them and take it into me. I want it to be through my voice, my lens. I want it to be through my experiences, where I am in my life, because I might not be in the point in my life that they are. I want it to seem as though it's coming from my life. And I feel that I am on the way to doing that, but like I said, with one song out, it's kind of hard to really show a in-depth kind of point of view, but I'm hoping with the next few releases that it's going to be shaping a really clear lens.
Yeah, no, I definitely believe that it will, because you have time. We all have time to put out great music and let everybody see and hear who we are as artists. Which artists, dead and alive, would you want to perform or collaborate with?
I love, I think I would say Charlie Puth. Charlie Puth, because, what'd you say?
I said love him.
Charlie Puth, I just looked up to at such a young age. He actually went to the same college as I did, and we all kind of idolized him, and I watched a lot of his interviews, and his creative process and his style is just so fluid to me. It feels so authentic and goofy and fun. And something about that, the way that he expresses himself, although it's very mainstream pop, there's something about it that it's so catching and striking that once you hear a melody, you can't walk away without thinking, that's Charlie Puth. Or if I hear a melody just playing in a coffee shop and I don't know the artist, I don't know, I can hear, wow, that might be Charlie Puth. And normally I'm right. So I think it's really authentic, fun stuff.
Now, is there anybody dead you would have liked to have performed or written with?
Ella Fitzgerald, for sure, 100%. And I know that's very different from the style that I'm talking about now, but she was somebody that I idolized as a kid, and really just listening to old-time jazz. My dad plays blues guitar, and just listening to how music evolved, epitome of this beautiful, rich, warm, jazzy sound that I would have lost it if I was able to sing with her, just sit in a room with her and just kind of pick her brain and just try and understand where she comes from. And it was, for me, listening to her as a kid, it was like a different world. You'd sit on your bed and you'd put her on and you would be transported with her warm tone. It was like, I don't know, it was like something I'd never heard before when I first heard her.
Ella Fitzgerald is and was an amazing vocal. She conveyed every emotion in her singing. That's what I love about her. I mean, my first love is jazz. That's what I grew up on. I love jazz music. I think jazz is actually one of the hardest genres, because the jazz genre, it seems like it doesn't evolve so much. It's like they have a standard and you have to do it that way, although I did my own thing with it. But I love Ella Fitzgerald and Etta James, all those people. And I personally, if I could have sang or written with somebody, it would have been probably Nina Simone, just because
that would have been amazing.
She stood for everything. She didn't want people to say anything when she performed. And I'm like that. I mean, you can clap, you can do all that stuff, but she really wanted people to see what she was capable of. You know what I mean? When I perform, I won't perform in places that have television sets and all that stuff. I really want to perform, and I really want people to enjoy my performance. It's really important for me. So I like your choices. Your choices are fantastic. What is your process for songwriting, and how do you deal with writer's block?
Yeah, so my creative process is pretty much, I really am a melody girl. So I like to, melody is my main thing. That's the one thing that comes to me the easiest. So I'll kind of sit down, and maybe I'm walking around that day, I hear this kind of melody in my head, so I'm just record it in my phone really quickly, and then I'll go back to that melody and kind of sit down and flesh it out a little bit. Then what I like to do is I'll record it on my mic, on my DAW, and then I'll do just a really short, probably maybe 8-bar or 16-bar instrumental, so maybe like a guitar or piano instrumental to it, and then I'm going to mute the vocals, and then I kind of top line over that, because I feel top lining for me feels so natural. It feels like it just comes out of me. Wherever the instrumental comes, I just feel like it just pulled out of me. So I just play with the melody and lyrics over that instrumental a lot, and then it just kind of comes to, and I record that. So it's very much DAW-centered. With writer's block, I used to have a big problem with writer's block, and it was really overwhelming, and it was frustrating. So basically with writer's block, I decided one day, and I was talking to one of my teachers, and she was trying to help me through writer's block, and she said to me, look, Hannah, what you need to do is you need to take every day maybe 5 minutes in the morning, and you need to write. Just write continuously and not have anything interrupt you. Try and have your own space and try not to be interrupted with any other thoughts of the day. And just write for 5 to 10 minutes every day, and then continue doing it for a few months. And after that, I can truly say that I haven't had the amount of writer's block that I used to have 10 to 1. Like, I used to be so frustrated, but writing it's a muscle. So once she told me that, it clicked. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this every single day for a few months, and I did. And I've never had writer's block like I used to. It just flows out of me because I just didn't let myself get to that mental block that I used to, because I realized not everything that I write has to be perfect. It doesn't matter. It just has to flow naturally. And when it does, when it's great, that's great. But when it's not, don't be frustrated and stop that, because then later it gets in my mind that I might, maybe now I'm not able to write as well as I used to be able to or whatever. Now I'm just kind of trying to be free about it and just forget about what I just continually think about myself, because I used to judge myself so much. But now I think, I don't care. I don't care if what I write sucks. I don't care if it's amazing. I don't care until afterwards, until I'm in the editing stage. Because if I critique myself and edit myself in the creative stage, I get nowhere. So I realized, forget about it. I'm just not going to. So that's pretty much it, I guess.
No, that's a great attitude to have, because, you know, this music process of ours is hard at times, and I kudos to you for practicing that way. I haven't gotten that down pat. Just the other day I had to write a song. It was like I had to go to the music producers the next day. It was midnight, and I'm still staring at the screen. And I was trying to write a holiday song, and I was like, well, it has to be like this. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. You know, and it's going to be a country Americana song. And, you know, I was just trying to stick to the regular way of doing things. And I'm like, why am I trying to do this? I should just do it the way that I want to do it and project out. And once I decided to do it that way, then the words just flowed onto the screen. I like to throw words, like even in a notebook or even on the screen and stuff like that, and pick and choose. And I'd like to try to use words that people don't normally use just to have a little variation in there. But I get it. This whole writing process, sometimes I will just sit at the screen and just stare at it. And then I just walk away, and I'm like, okay, it's not flowing right now, but it's going to come eventually. And then when I let go, it works.
Absolutely. I agree so much. I used to get so hung up on every little thing and just thinking about the outcome. They asked for a song like this. What if it's not that? So I completely get where you're coming from, and it's so frustrating sometimes. But
amen. It's so frustrating, but no, we get through it. We do our thing. So that's phenomenal. I mean, writer's block is an ugly thing too. It's just ugly. So we're gonna play your song "Lazy Boy." Tell us what that's about.
So "Lazy Boy" really is, I guess, an ode to just having fun and just, like I kind of was talking about before, like letting go, and just, it's really about just being with someone and not caring where you go, not kind of sticking to any specific plan, because like I said, I used to be the to-do list girl. I used to be planning. So I just thought, you know what, this time I'm not. So Lazy Boy is just kind of a fun anthem to pop, pretty much, I guess.
All right, we're going to have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll play it.
Hi, this is Nikki Chris, and I host a podcast called Mixin' It. Mixin' It focuses on women in the music, entertainment, and the performing arts. Our goal is to provide an avenue for industry veterans and up-and-coming artists, musicians, engineers, and producers to showcase their talent. Listen to Mixin' It on Monday Music Madness at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sim Radio Network.
You know me better than all of the rest. So many fish in the sea, but I don't need a next. Road tripping for hours, it makes me forget how your smile gets me so out of breath. In the middle of nowhere, it feels just like I was right for the first time. Let's get lazy, boy, and lay on the sand with me. It's so hazy, boy, like smoking on nicotine. The sandy beach feels like a dream, washing up the deeper sea. But I just wanna get lazy with you, boy. Soft like a seashell, I'm softened by the ocean. Wish our days would go in slow motion, exploring each other's words like we historians. Except we don't take on no mysteries to solve them. In the middle of nowhere, it feels just like I was right for the first time. Let's get lazy, boy, lay on the sand with me. It's so hazy, boy, like smoking on nicotine. The sandy beach feels like a dream, washing up the deeper sea. But I just wanna get lazy with you, boy. You make me melt like ice cream, so pick me back up. I'm tangled in your words like let's just stay here. You make me melt like ice cream, so pick me back up. I'm tangled in your words like let's just stay here all night long. Let's get lazy, boy, lay on the sand with me. It's so hazy, boy, like smoking on nicotine. The sandy beach feels like a dream, washing up the deeper sea. But I just wanna get lazy with you, boy.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
I really like that. You know, I could hear your music in TV shows. You should really look into, once you get settled and everything and blah, 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 you should get into, try to get into sync license and
I've been looking into that, and that looks so amazing to me. Sync and licensing, it's so, I feel like it would be such a fun avenue to go down.
Yeah, I started thinking about going down that avenue myself and starting to really, you know, look at the shows that I like and thinking about songs that could work with those shows. So yeah, definitely. I'm supposed to send somebody else some of that information. So I can always send you the different places that you can send your music to, because there's so many.
I would appreciate that so much.
It's a lot of work. There are a lot of places, but I think it's worth it, you know, to just submit your stuff, because you just never know where your song can end up in. I had this one girl that I interviewed, and she really liked this song Atypical on Netflix, and she wrote a song for it. And then she DM'd the producer on, I think, on Instagram, and the producer absolutely loved it and put it in the show. So you just never know how that's going to turn out for you. And if you have that voice, that gift, that where people could listen to you and really love your song, and it can be great in a film, television, or commercial, you should go for it. Because, streaming is great, but as you well know, streaming is not where we're making our money.
No, it is not. Streaming is a hard world. It is hard.
It's definitely hard, not making money. So where artists are truly making money is like if you're gigging and you're touring and you have merch, you're definitely going to make money that way. But when it comes to the whole trying to become a millionaire, no, that's not how it's going to happen. So I'll have to send you that stuff because it's very helpful. Now, what do you love about being an artist?
I love the way that I'm able to express myself, just unapologetically, just be myself. Because, like I said before, I was myself, and I wasn't, I really wasn't holding back, but I guess I wasn't just expressing everything that I felt. And through artistry, I feel like more than words, I'm able to talk about political stuff. I'm able to talk about women's rights in a way that people that are, sometimes would be, I don't want to listen. It's too polarizing or whatever. See it in a different light because, now it's pretty, but they're still listening to the issues. They're still listening to what actually matters, but it's bow tie in a prettier format that it's more palatable to people, and I feel like it's more able to reach farther, which to me means a lot because I know that so many things in our world that we might be people shouldn't talk about or whatever they say. In art, people see it no matter what. No matter what their opinion is, they see it. Even if they hate it or not, they're going to see it. So that to me feels so good. Being able to be an artist and write a song about, like, the abortion bans now, which are frightening, and really have people see it, which I think is so important.
I like that you touch on the political and all that stuff. Yeah, as artists, we should be able to talk about and sing about anything that we want because music is it's a power. It's like a superpower that we have because it can move mountains, it can heal. It's the one place, and a lot of people know this, that everybody can get along. I mean, because it's music. We're all dancing or listening to the same thing. We're all having a good time. There's no need for any other type of crazy vibe. It's an amazing tool to make a difference. I mean, people can listen to us when they're crying or they're happy or they're sad, they're mad and stuff like that. And what I've learned over time during the pandemic, because I had a lot of downtime, to be able to, I listened to webinars and conferences that people are craving the authentic artist. In regards to like TikTok, they said the people that gravitate to the videos the most are the authentic videos, authentic people doing regular things, because these are goals that people can attain to. It's like when they see artists, they're like, oh, that's really cute. But the thing is, they don't believe they can attain that. They don't believe they can be there. But when they listen to the artist that's authentic, they feel like, oh my gosh, I could call up this person and this person will really get me because based on the lyrics that they're singing or the lyrics that they're writing, they're just amazing, and they feel like they can be close to you, and that's what a lot of people are craving. You know what I mean?
I agree, absolutely, and especially the beauty standards, and so many artists, and not as a pointing finger or anything like that, but that so many people see those artists and think, wow, I could never look like them. I know so many times I've thought, wow, I could never look like that person. But then I have to think and realize that it's not just them making themselves look like that. It's a team of people.
That's
so
right.
It's sometimes really hard to get out of your head that that's not just normal, you know?
Exactly. It isn't normal. And we, as artists, we can start singing about those kind of things, about beauty. And, beauty comes in all kinds of different forms, and that you don't have to look a certain way to be beautiful or, to please the world. And I think we're advancing towards that direction in our world. Slowly but surely, we're going to get there. Now, I'm going to play your song, Air Supply. Tell me what that's about.
Is really about it's about relying on someone so much that it feels like when they leave or something like that you lose a part of you. And I truly wrote it about originally about one of my family members, and it just kind of evolved, so it kind of went a little bit of another direction, but that's where I was starting at the beginning.
All right, let's play it.
Hold me down so I don't run, blown away by a simple breeze that I felt at the top of the mountain. Cold like ice, the winter's touch, bring me up when I'm going low, like I just might crumble. Cut the overgrown and vine so I can find you. Fallen trees on hidden pathways, will you find your way through? I am sinking in the water like an anchor, hoping I break free. It was dim here, but now I see your hand reaching for me. Oh, my oxygen was running low, but you're my air supply.
Absolutely.
Audio Jungle.
That was, what I like about it? It was short. And it was done.
It's actually the shorter version. I didn't realize that I sent you a much shorter version.
It's okay, but I like that because I was just like, oh, what it does is it makes you want more.
Uh-huh.
So that's actually a smart way of doing that. It makes you want more.
It was a mistake, but I'm so glad you said that.
No, I love that. I love that. Do you have any plans to release any music videos?
I do. I am working on a music video now that I'm hoping to release. Originally, my date of release was supposed to be today, but recorded everything last week, so we're kind of in a super speed here. So we're trying to release it next Friday, September 10th. So we're very excited.
Do you have any plans for any future releases?
I do. So I am trying to release in early to mid-October. Right now, I'm still getting which song that I'm choosing. I have a few that are completely finished that I've been working on, and I'm deciding which one to do for mid-October, I believe.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear those. So how do you manage everything? As artists, we have to be on every damn platform there is known to man. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, I don't know what else, Clubhouse, everything that's out there. So how do you manage all your, marketing and promoting and posting every single day?
Right. It gets hard sometimes, and truthfully, sometimes I'm just not able to do it. Mentally, I sometimes just get so overwhelmed. that I can't do it every day, but I really try to be consistent to have, if not every day, every other day. Sometimes with my Instagram, I once was really about doing it every day, and when I'm working on a song, sometimes it gets a little bit less often. So maybe today, and then the day after tomorrow, or every other day. With my TikTok, the same. I'm really trying to juggle it, and a lot of times for TikTok, I'll record a bunch of them on a Sunday or a Saturday, and just try and release them throughout the week, so I'm consistent. And but it is hard. It is so difficult, and an easier thing for me is to be able to, when I'm recording my TikTok, be able to take a photo for Instagram, or try and get some content, whatever I'm doing, for all these platforms, just in a different way.
Right.
So sometimes that makes it easier, but it is not easy. It's a difficult thing, like we all know.
But it's really good that you'd actually take some time to do these TikTok videos, because I was watching, like I said, a webinar on TikTok, and they were saying how, you should put at least 5 videos a day. I don't have that time to put out 5 videos a day. 5 videos a day. A day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I do. I'm like, huh? I said, you're not talking to me. I mean, I have a friend. She manages her son, and I think they take 3 hours. 3 hours. And all he does during that time is TikTok. Now, it's worked for him because he has over 30,000 followers now. But
right.
you have to have some definite, time to be dedication to be able to do that. Also, it's not just that. You have to come up with ideas, because it can't be the same thing.
God,
Yeah. I mean, I've posted stuff with my music, with my kittens in it, doing stupid little things here and there. And there's stuff that I'm thinking about doing, but every time I sit down, I'm not going to do it. Something else pops up for me to do. So then then it goes back to the back end. And I think what people don't realize is that this music business, it's hard. You are the investment. And so it's a 24/7 job, where you're trying to promote, trying to get people to listen to your music, trying to get, people just to watch you, hear you say something, just to be seen and heard.
So much harder.
Yeah, no.
It's so much harder than anyone really can think unless they do it, because you're writing the music, you're working on the music, then you're promoting it, you're playing it, you're posting and videos, and it's just, I love it, but it sometimes can be like a hamster wheel.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. What is the one thing you wish you had known before you got into the music industry?
One thing I wish I would have known is, I guess it's really not something that I would have known. It would have been something that I wish I would have thought, is just don't care about what other people think. And I know that's such a cliche thing that everyone says, but I mean it.
Yeah. Yep.
Really got into my head.
Yes. Yep. That,
I can't wait when I'm thinking about, I'm breathing down my own neck to think, wow, what I'm doing is not good. What I'm doing, no one will like. Well, you know what? I don't care what they'll like. This is what I'm doing and how I'm expressing myself. And I know that there will be some people that agree with me as well and want to support me. And there'll be also some people that don't. And I don't care. I only care about what my art is and the people that support me and want me to continue.
And that is the best attitude to have. I tell people this all the time. When I first started out, I was really shy, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to get on the stage. How am I going to sing in front of people? Oh my God. And I did it at one of my first CD release parties, and I was nervous, but then I started to get into it, and then I started not to care. And people think and people think that that's weird. You just don't care what people think. But the thing is, that what you're going to give your audience, your fans or whatever, is the best of who you are. So if you have that mindset, you don't have to care what people think. And the fact that music is subjective. Like you said, there are people that are going to love your music. There are people that are not going to love it. You can put your songs in one songwriting contest and win. You can put it in something else and it won't win. It's okay. The most important thing is that you love your music. If you can't put your song on repeat and listen to it 100 times over, don't put it out. This is what I tell people. I can listen to my music on repeat. I can. I don't have a problem with that. Because anything that I put out, I have to put out what I love. You are the most important person when it comes 100%. To your music. And you can't, and then they're going to be haters. There are people just hate to hate. You know what I mean? They will try to drag you down. And you yourself have to know, you know what, I'm doing my thing. That's an issue that you have with yourself, but I'm going to do my thing, and I don't have to worry about you. So, yes, you're 100% right. 100%.
And what the haters don't know is that I was a worse hater than them to myself. So whatever they say, they could never be as hurtful as I was to myself. So you know what? I just don't care what you could say.
Amen to that. Right on. Right on. Now, what is a quote or message that you like to use for yourself to push yourself? If you use one.
I would say just keep on going. Just keep on going no matter what. Because some days you may feel just horrible. And I have those days sometimes more often than I'd like. And I just sometimes in the back of my mind think, should I do this? And no, just keep on going because it will be worth it in the end.
That's right. I love that. What other advice would you give your younger self if you could?
I would say to my younger self that I should practice more. That would be one thing. And also, like I said before, don't care what other people think is, I think, a big one.
Yep. That would be a major one for myself. I would hammer it into my younger self's head. So you better listen ever care about what people think because they're going to they themselves have their own motives. And it's weird to say just because we're in an industry where people will critique your music and stuff like that. And I think you can listen to people's observations. You can listen to what they might change or something, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, it's your decision. If somebody's trying to change who you are as an artist, I definitely don't think that people should do that. I think you should be who you are. Stay true to yourself as an artist. I posted a song, one of my favorite songs online, and the guy was just like, well, I would have made the piano louder or done this. I said, but you don't get it. This song is about the lyrics. It's not necessarily about the music. Is that there are different dynamics to music. Like when I listen to music right now, I listen to the lyrics more than anything else. I'm like, wow, how did they think of putting those words together? Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this is quirky. Oh, this is different. Because lyrics have, you can have instrumental compositions, obviously, that can emote so much emotions. But when you have lyrics and music, I tend to want to hear what the artist has to say and how are they saying it. Where are they convey. So it's all about staying true to who you are and not letting anybody try to defeat you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, Hannah, I've had a wonderful time listening to your music, learning more about you. I can't wait to hear the rest of what you're going to do and any music videos you do. And later this month, I'll try to send you the information on the sync and licensing thing because I think you truly have a gift and it needs to be heard.
Thank you so much. It's been so wonderful talking to you, and I'm really excited to hear about the licensing and sync. I think that'll be really amazing.
Yep, you got it. All right, everybody. And this was Chatting with Nat, and this was singer-songwriter, producer Hannah Rutti. You can find her everywhere. Just Google her. She's on Instagram. She's on TikTok. But then again, you can just Google. Until next time on Chatting with Nat. with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard.